For almost 40 years, it's been desert racing's premier event. 1,000 miles down Mexico's Baja California Peninsula.
Need medical down at check 6 area.
430 competitors, 43 hours to finish.
That was Herbst just went by you. Come on, Larry, we can pull this off.
An ultimate test of endurance. It's legendary.
The channel's code red. The channel's code red. We're trying to pick it forward. Let's go fast.
It's the Baja 1000. Ensenada, Mexico, known as the Cinderella of the Pacific. It's located 70 miles south of the international border with the United States, and it's home to the 39th running of the SCORE Baja 1000. This record number of entries gathered at the starting point for the race just in front of the Riviera del Pacifico, a former casino allegedly funded by Al Capone. The racers are organized into 28 pro and 6 sportsman classes for cars, trucks, motorcycles, and ATVs. This is Mike Childress on Honda 1X. He'll ride about 1/3 of the 1,000-mile course, sharing duty with teammates Quinn Cody and Steve Hengevel. On the Honda 6X is Robbie Bell. In just his second Baja 1000, Bell has teamed up with Kendall Norman and 9-time consecutive Baja 1000 champion Johnny Kim.
This year, it's like totally different. Now I got the pressure of trying to keep this streak, and I know Steve, Mikey, and Quinn are just going to be, you know, beside themselves trying to beat us. So it's going to be a knockdown, you know, drag-out battle, and I think it's going to be a really fun race.
Mike Childress was part of the winning Honda combination last year. The 22-year-old will hand the 1X bike off to Quinn Cody at mile marker 333, otherwise known as Honda Pit 6. This year, the Baja 1000 will run about 1,050 miles, starting in the seaport of Ensenada, through Ojos Negros, onto San Felipe, down to the Bay of LA, to the midway point of San Ignacio. 2 recent hurricanes have drastically changed the southern sections of the course, creating some very technical terrain on towards the finish in La Paz. On his way to Ojos Negros, about 30 miles into the race, Robbie Bell sets his sights on extending the Honda legacy. The winning team is expected to finish this race in about 19 hours. Most of the competitors will tell you that this race is a race against the terrain of the Baja. Bell gets back on his bike and continues. No problems for Mike Childress on his Honda 1X. The game plan for most is stay on your bike, look 2 turns ahead, and get the bike to your teammate. Not always easy to remember when someone's trying to pass you. Expect the unexpected. Crowded areas are good indications that a booby trap may be near. The Mexican locals build jumps looking to add to the excitement, and sometimes the racers pay the price. Most of the Baja racecourse is open to the public. Robbie Bell on the Honda 6X is staying ahead of the traffic through Ojos Negros. Mike Childress on the Honda 1X is gaining ground quickly. Honda has 16 overall titles here in Baja. They've dominated basically for one reason. It's called preparation.
It's pretty neat. I haven't even seen my teammates in a week. They've been down doing their own deal and learning their section. So I'll ride my first 333 miles, and then we're all doing about that, 300 to 400 miles each. Only going to see them when I get down there. So hopefully they've been doing their job, and I've been up here for the last week pre-running and learning my section and doing my job. And when everybody does their job correctly and whoever puts the most effort in, hopefully will succeed.
A glitch in the Honda plan. Robbie Bell goes down on a Mexican booby trap, hits his head, and then starts heading in the wrong direction. He runs into Honda 1X Mike Childress, who gets him back on track. Although it looks even, it's not. Remember, this was a staggered start. 1X is in the lead because 1X started 3.5 minutes behind 6X. Don't worry, we'll figure it out together. This is the SCORE Baja 1000. Ensenada really give you the feeling that they're proud to host this, the legendary 39th running of the SCORE Baja 1000. Race competitors come from 35 states and 10 countries, and millions of dollars are invested for the right to run here on the Baja Peninsula. Trophy trucks, the elite class of the Baja 1000, the fastest off-road four-wheel trucks in the world. 800 horsepower, fire-breathing monsters. They attract a lot of attention. Robbie Gordon of NASCAR fame in the '83 Red Bull truck has been racing at the Baja for almost 20 years. First off the line is B.J. Baldwin in the '97 truck. He'll be driving 830 miles of this course, sharing the driving with Tommy Bradley. The man responsible for this amazing race is Sal Fish, president and CEO of SCORE International.
Be careful now.
Having first raced in 1970, he was then recruited by the late Mickey Thompson to organize the race.
Have a good one, okay? See you in La Paz. What do we need, one?
They say preparation is what gets you to the finish here at Baja. After a night of pre-running in the desert, Cameron Steele, driver of the 16 trophy truck, seems to have forgotten one important element. You need to fill up your gas tank before the start of the race. Luckily for him, in the spirit of Baja, his competitors were willing to loan him some fuel.
That's about the camaraderie of Baja, huh? I mean, the buffoonery of the Desert Assassins turned out to be everybody else's problem today. But hey, they're all going to get buena suerte, or good luck, for giving us some gas, I think.
We'll see about that. With the last 5 gallons borrowed from Mark Post, Cameron Steele is ready to go. Honda, on the other hand, has 19 pit stops set up along the Baja Peninsula. Organizing this is like a military action plan.
There are so many things that can and occasionally do go wrong, and to put our pit 18 in place, you know, that pit crew left the United States on Sunday, travels Monday, travels Tuesday, travels Wednesday, then Thursday they travel out to their pit and they live at their pit all day Thursday, all day Friday, return back to La Paz late Friday night. You know, and that's like a week's worth of logistics in terms of hotels and leaving the States and having all your paperwork in order, and you multiply that one pit crew times 19, everybody's got their own set of obstacles to overcome in getting the pit.
This is the 32nd time that the race has started in Ensenada, and it'll finish for the 17th time in La Paz. By virtue of a draw, B.J. Baldwin is the first to leave the start at 10:42 a.m. Vehicles then leave in 30-second intervals in the elapsed time race. A few hairy turns in the city streets, and the 97 trophy truck enters what is known as the wash area. They estimate that 300,000 Mexican fans are spread out along the course. And one of the reasons this is called the wash is because that's what you have to do after the trucks go by. Off the line at 10:55 is the number 83 Red Bull trophy truck. Robbie Gordon this year has a new partner. He's sharing the driving with 19-year-old Andy McMillan. and in desert racing, McMillan is a name of royalty. The plan is that Gordon will drive the first 700 miles and then hand the truck over to McMillan for the last 300. That's because, and this is the unbelievable part, Robbie Gordon is also going to race in a NASCAR race today in Miami Homestead. He just can't get enough racing into his 24 hours. Everything takes a beating in this race. Take a look at the 5 tires that are running in this year's Baja 1000. They're all street legal and sold in North America.
These 2 tires are our on-road tires. We've got the Radial Long Trail TA and the Rugged Trail TA. They're tweaked for low noise and comfort. These are run on some of the lighter classes in the Baja 1000 and are typical on your normal on-road passenger SUV and light truck vehicles. We have the all-terrain TA KO. This is one of the best-selling tires in North America for light trucks. It's got the classic dog bone tread design for on and off-road traction. We've got Tri-Guard sidewall, which is 3 polyester plies for that extra durability in the sidewall as well. The mud terrain, which is a little bit more extreme off-road. It's got a more open void tread design. We've got digger lugs that help break the suction when you're stuck in the mud to get you out. Finally, we have the Baja TA. This tire was made specifically from our efforts in off-road racing for events such as the Baja 1000. We have a tread design designed to keep you on top of the surface to maximize speed as they go throughout the desert. You'll see these on some of the trophy trucks and the larger class vehicles today.
This is the SCORE Baja 1000. Robbie Bell rides a Honda CRF 450X. For simplicity, we can just call it 6X. Bottom line is he tops out at around 110 miles an hour. Here he's testing things in an area known as Laguna Diablo. The leader of the race is Mike Childress on Honda 1X, about 10 minutes ahead. The driver of record in the 116 Class 1 is Travis Pastrana, who's normally defying gravity on his motorcycle.
Travis is doing a heck of a job. He's obviously he's extremely talented in everything he does, but he's really. I got to follow him a couple nights ago. We pre-ran his whole section in the dark, and for a guy that's never even driven through that section, I couldn't believe it. I mean, we were flying through this stuff. It's been a cool experience. I think we can win it.
They gave me the sections that best fit what I'm used to, and I think I can be very competitive there. We're using more of a rally format with a lot more pace notes. So when I'm driving completely in the night, dark, dust, fog, whatever it may be, I know exactly what's coming, which I think is going to be a huge advantage. On a negative note from what I used to, the roads are still open. There's traffic coming the other way. There's cows. There's pretty Chip Cabre. You don't even know what's out there. So it should be good.
Overall Baja 1000 champions the past 2 years, Troy Herbst and Larry Rossler in the 121 Class 1 truck.
You want to measure yourself in Baja, you measure against Larry Rossler. I mean, on bikes overall, in cars overall, doesn't break things, doesn't crash things. He's got the magic touch.
Rossler, who will be driving the last 700 miles in the Herbst truck, won the Baja 1000 10 times on a bike before getting into a 4-wheel vehicle.
The whole key is not to have downtime. Take care of your equipment. Try not to get flats. Don't overshoot corners. And, like I said earlier, it's not really, you don't have to be the fastest guy. Who makes the least amount of mistakes usually ends up on top.
Larry Rossler has been coming to Baja for years. I remember Larry when I was a kid, and he was riding for Team Green on those KX 500s. And he's had an awesome career here in the Baja Peninsula, and obviously he's been able to translate it from a motorcycle into an off-road car as well.
The crowds are unbelievable, and they start heading out to the ranch area known as Ojos Negros as early as 3 o'clock in the morning. Ojos is about 30 miles from the start in Ensenada. B.J. Baldwin is the first to reach Ojos. Holding on to the physical lead for the 97 trophy truck is important because being in front means less dust and less chance of damaging your truck. The number 81 trophy truck was 23rd off the line, and it's being driven by Ricky Johnson. The 7-time national motocross champion will hand off the truck to Ryan Arciero at Bay of LA.
We don't like to think about anybody else. You cannot think about your competition. You cannot get them in the back of your head for this race. Yeah, there's a lot of great drivers out there, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are completely capable of winning this race. But as soon as you start thinking too much about them or what their plan is to go win this race, you put your race in jeopardy.
In the number 12 Collins Motorsports Trophy truck, this year's Baja 500 winners, Brian Collins and Larry Ragland.
There's a lot of really good drivers, but when I go into a race, I don't think about who I have to beat or who I want to beat. I think about getting my truck to Larry Ragland, having no flat tires, having no problems, get him the truck in the best position I can, and let him go do what he does best, and that's take it home. So I don't come out here to race anybody. I race the desert, you know, hopefully have no problems, and that's what I look at when I drive.
The rough and silty terrain wears on all the vehicles in this desert race. Silt is like liquid dirt, and it gets inside everything. Pre-running and using GPS systems are integral when it comes to staying on the course. But sometimes you just miss a turn. B.J. Baldwin, the leader in the race, makes a U-ey and gets back on course. Number 1, Bob Shepard, is the winner of last year's trophy truck class, and he's in the hunt for a SCORE championship for the overall season series. For that to happen, he needs to finish in front of current race leader, B.J. Baldwin. This is Dust Incorporated. Number 83, Robbie Gordon, negotiates through it on his way through Ojos Negros.
This year's Baja 1000, or any year that we go to La Paz from Ensenada, is different because it's a point-to-point race. And it takes more people, it takes a bigger team, it takes better logistics, and it takes better organization to be able to support one of these trophy trucks or even a motorcycle down the peninsula.
The number 3 trophy truck is from Riviera Racing, being driven by Mark Post, who was 4th off the start line. Here he's doing his best to stay on the narrow terrain of Valle de Trinidad. Back to the number 12 trophy truck. Brian Collins has been off-road racing for 29 years. His partner, Larry Ragland, won the trophy truck class from 1995 through 1997, and then again in 1999. Larry, thus, is a legend in the world of Baja. B.J. Baldwin admitted before the race that he would be playing the safe card. However, a flat tire in around race mile 70 cost him some time. Back to the Class 1, number 101, Ivan Schwartz, crossing over from the world of rally car driving. The German was amazed at the speeds these vehicles reach over the hardest off-road terrain.
The plan is quite simple. I mean, I think we don't watch out really who is going very fast, who will probably overtake us on the first section even. We will do our own speed where we think the car keeps together. We will watch out on big, rough stuff, try to stay away from all the problems. And yeah, I think you have to learn a little bit to drive behind cars and be patient for quite a long time before you can take over.
Still in Class 1, number 116, Damon Jeffries, partner of Travis Pastrana, makes a pass. The Class 1 vehicles are about 2,000 pounds lighter than the trophy trucks, but still 700 horsepower. And like Travis Pastrana, another crossover this year is ski racer Darren Rollins.
Well, I learned from a lot of guys, talking to some guys that had a lot of experience in Baja, was just, you know, it's persistence. Keep plugging away. It's not all out, you know, race like, you know, motocross would be or ski racing would be. And push it when you can, but err on the safety side so you make it to the next guy. And
Race fans really get their fill back in Ensenada as the starting continues. The Baja Challenge class is one of the last to leave the start line. And for the second year, the Baja Challenge class includes Patrick Dempsey, star of ABC's Grey's Anatomy.
I think it's a completely different driving experience here. You don't go all out. You really have to be careful. And I think this is just the beginning. The race really doesn't start until we're about 200 miles into it. So I think the thing now is to just really be patient. My team boss has told me that she likes it slow and easy. So that's what I gotta, so that's my mantra until I get out of town.
Two veteran freestyle motocross riders were also lured to the Baja 1000 this year.
There's definitely interest for me in off-road on four wheels. I think a lot of guys, when they get older, they start thinking, you know, it'd be nice to have a roll cage around me. Ivan Stewart told me once, with age comes a cage. BF Goodrich just happened to call me and ask if I wanted to drive a car, a Baja Challenge car in the Baja 1000. Heck yeah, where do I sign up at?
Once the guys at BFG heard that I was interested in going full bore off-road, they asked me if I wanted to be involved with the BC Challenge cars.
The wide open Baja class is a great opportunity for people to get exposed to the sport. And let's face it, you know, people like myself that have never off-road raced in cars, we're not going to jump into a trophy truck or a pro truck and go out there or a class 1 and race.
Well, anybody can get into it. Wide Open has a wonderful way of sort of learning about the cars and learning about this part of the country.
The cars are unbelievable what they'll handle. Big whoops, rocks, whatever. You just hit them at like 50 miles an hour and the BF Goodrich tires just roll right over it. You don't even feel it. It's pretty unbelievable.
As far as BFG, they are pretty much the front runners at all off-road races, and they make the best tires in the world.
And as it is everywhere in the Baja 1000, any turn can knock you out. The racers reach San Felipe at race mile 185, a very sandy section full of small whoops which cause many of the motorcycles to slow down. Robbie Bell on Honda 6X is 10 minutes behind the race leader, Honda 1X. The rest of the field is more than 10 minutes behind Robbie Bell. B.J. Baldwin goes across an area known as Laguna Diablo. That's a 6,000-pound truck going 160 miles an hour. Baldwin is in the physical lead and on the way to his first pit stop, where he will gas up and head back out. Just a few minutes off the lead is the number 83 truck driven by Robbie Gordon, who has a wild style all his own.
He's so good for off-road racing because he just holds it wide open, lets it fly, and whatever happens, happens. I applaud him, you know, just go ahead, wing it at all times, and we'll see how it pans out.
Robbie is extremely fast, extremely talented. I don't think he can run the pace that he wants to run and get away with it over these many miles. It's just the odds are against you to run that hard. And I think he likes to run hard. You know, to have the patience to pull back the reins, and you know, I think he'd rather have a 30-minute lead halfway, and that's just his style.
Powerful words from Rosler on the style of Robbie Gordon and the status of this year's race.
Before we averaged 62-mile-an-hour average going to La Paz, and last year was only in the low 50s. And this year, I'm not exaggerating, it's probably going to be the toughest Baja 1000 ever. It's going to La Paz. It's a little over 1,000 miles, but the new sections near Laredo, the speed averages are going to be way slow, and it's going to be an 18-hour race for someone that has no trouble whatsoever. And it's pretty difficult to do that over that 1,000 miles.
A finish time of 18 hours would mean your team would have to average 58 miles per hour over the 1,050 miles. keep in mind, working on that average, half this race will take place in the dark. Number 97, B.J. Baldwin, is the first to reach San Felipe. He's in the physical lead, but Mark Post and Robbie Gordon are all within a few minutes based on time. If you lose your way, just follow the dust. Mark Post in the number 3 Riviera truck has clocked the fastest time to the first of 7 checkpoints. And despite his pedal-to-the-floor approach, Robbie Gordon is running smoothly. Gary Wayridge, Class 1, number 112, has clocked the fastest time to the first checkpoint in his class. And back in the trophy truck, slowed by a water leak, Cameron Steele has lost a lot of time. From the Baja Challenge Class BC16, the Micron-sponsored buggy, here this year to test their technology in this rugged environment.
There's a lot of races out there that we could have chosen, but the SCORE Baja 1000, I think, is known as the toughest race. I think it's also known as the greatest challenge in logistics, and that's where we wanted to start. You know, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right, and it's worth jumping in and going from the beginning instead of starting out slow. In this race, we will be using 2 different types of technology. The first type is actually the imager that captures what's going on in an image. So think of it as a camera that's capturing real time everything that's going on. And we have a number of those cameras mounted around several cars. The other type of product that we're using is memory to store the images that we're capturing. So we have specialized boxes inside these cars using Micron standard product that actually stores all of the images that we capture during the race.
Flash is really the only thing that's rugged enough to take the continuous 1,000-mile beating of the Baja. There's no moving parts. It can be vibrated around, bounced around, and they just keep going. They just keep recording.
More and more consumer electronics need to be more and more durable, and those are the kind of products that we make. So we thought that by having them part of the race, in the race, capturing the race would be a perfect way for us to test out the technology and prove its durability.
And durability is what it will take to see the Baja Challenge cars at the finish line in La Paz. This is the SCORE Baja 1000. Tough enough when the sun shines bright, but soon, imagine this in the dark. The sometimes airborne excitement of the SCORE Baja 1000, which continues on the Baja Peninsula, south of California. By late afternoon, the race becomes much more dangerous for those on ATVs and those riding on 2 wheels.
Every driver's nightmare is to come up on a bike fast at night or in the day, in the dusk. And it's something that is out there. We deal with it 3 or 4 times a year where we race with the motorcycles. We're very cautious of them and very respectful of the motorcycle racer and what they're trying to achieve out there.
We got to pass the whole bike field, except for maybe the top 2. We're passing the trophy trucks, and a lot of the ones are passing the entire bike and quad field. It's really dangerous and scary, and I wish we put a bigger gap in between the bikes and the cars.
Another look at the Baja map takes us to the area known as Bahia de Los Angeles, or the Bay of LA. Race mile 377. The beauty of the Sea of Cortez is in the background as the lead trophy trucks reach this distance in just over 6.5 hours.
My dad's been racing off-road pretty much since I was a little kid. He's been fortunate enough to win this race overall 5 times, more than anyone else. Some people like to compare it maybe to the Indy 500 or something like that, but I think it's bigger, it's better, it's longer, it's tougher. This is the ultimate challenge of man and machine. So I'm kind of living out my dream. I feel very fortunate and very lucky.
The ultimate challenge of man versus machine has yet to reach its halfway point.
It's two separate races. I mean, actually, if a guy had his best wishes come through, he'd say, give me the rough stuff at the beginning, and then I could, you know, nurse my car through it or my bike, and then I'll really haul to the finish. It's just the opposite, man. You've got a faster section in the front. You've got to keep that vehicle alive and that motorcycle in good shape, because when you get to San Ignacio, you've got another 500+ miles of really what Baja's famous for.
And Baja is famous for the toughest off-road terrain in the world. Terrain that each one of the record 430 entries in this race hope to conquer within the 43-hour time limit. Despite an overheating problem, the number 81 trophy truck, driven by three-time Baja 1000 winner Ryan Arciero, is hanging at around 10th place.
This sport of ours is just an incredible, incredible sport. And it's something that's been a part of my life since I was born, and it's something that's going to continue to be a part of my life, you know, until I die. And it defines me. And you know, I can't see myself not being involved in the sport in some way or another.
Most of the drivers would agree with Ryan Arciero. Off-road racing has been passed on within families for many years. It's a small community that continues to grow with the increased exposure that the sport has received. B.J. Baldwin is in the physical lead of the race, but trailing on time, and that's important to the number 83 truck driven by Robbie Gordon. Remember, the staggered start changes what you see. Robbie Gordon is a legend in Baja. He won the race in a solo drive in 1989 and in 1987 as a co-driver with his father, Bob Gordon. He knows the key to being successful is surviving the race, and the best way to do that is preparation, otherwise known as pre-running or doing your homework. Pre-running gives the desert racers a chance to compile notes and familiarize themselves with the course, and most of the racers would agree. This is the fun part of being in Baja. Many of the entries in this race will not finish. In fact, in some of the classes, half will DNF. For Honda, the question usually is which one of their teams will finish first. At this point, Honda 1X with Quinn Cody now aboard is on his way to Honda Pit 11, located at around race mile 600. Robbie Bell pulls into Honda Pit number 10, a little disgusting. So far, his day went like this. He hit a booby trap 40 miles into the race, courtesy of the fans. Went backwards on the course because he was a little out of it. Got a flat tire and had to ride on that for 22 miles. Then his teammate Kendall Norman broke his hand. And now Robbie Bell is expected to ride the 6X bike to race mile 724, where the 9-time champion is not going to be very happy about losing his streak. Things are going much better for Honda 1X. All pistons are firing for the 83 trophy truck driven by Robbie Gordon. He's still leading the race, with darkness coming soon.
Signal Air copies that. Car 83 is through mile 485.
And when the sun sets in Baja, the difficulty goes off the charts.
I think the biggest challenges of driving in this race with respect to the cars will be it's a tough course. I think the challenge will be making sure that you keep moving forward at a reasonable pace, but that you don't damage the car. I have a variety of interests, and I tend to be an individual interested in extreme sports. I have done everything from perform level aerobatics and air shows and props and jets to racing motorcycles and so forth. But I think that my sports interests as well as my business interests are pretty well aligned. The electronics business can be a very aggressive, very fast-changing, very hard-charging, very competitive business. And so the types of activities I do in my personal life match up perfectly with the kind of business I'm in. So, you know, Micron, I think the simplest way to think about the company is that we capture data, we move that data, and we store that data. So the SCORE Baja 1000 is really a great race. It goes from the silt beds to the mountains to the rocks to the whoops. And that really tests not only yourself, but also the product that we have here in the car.
You can't have enough headlights. Even then, it's hope for the best.
It's almost a surreal experience at times. Typically, you get in there at night, take off, and you may not see another vehicle. You could be an hour, and you may not see any lights for an hour.
It's really long and lonely out there. Once you get past Laredo, past 760, there's not civilization for a long time. And you're out there by yourself, you know, and you just have to challenge Baja, and it's up to Baja whether it's going to let you through or not.
It's really fun. When I was younger, I really enjoyed the dark. I was very fast in the dark. And with eye surgeries and getting old, it sort of put an end to my night driving. And so Larry, fortunately, has very good eyes, and he handles that end for me.
Robbie Gordon's crew awaits his arrival.
McMillan Air, we're the only pit in that vicinity. You copy?
Okay, that's affirmative. At 120 on the right-hand side of the road, you're the only pit there.
Gordon enters this pit as the leader of the race. His navigator, Andy Grider, hops out and Greg Till gets in. Robbie Gordon will drive another 50 miles before he hands the truck off to 19-year-old Andy McMillan. While everyone is doing their job well, this is agonizingly longer than a NASCAR pit stop. And Robbie will be experiencing that in less than 24 hours. One last check to make sure everything is in one piece.
I honestly don't know that we had any clean air all day. Coming into Vizcaíno before the highway here, it was so heavy, it just kind of settled into a cloud and you couldn't see anything. Really treacherous. But from the start, you know, we had a flat and put us back a little, had another flat and could never escape the dust. So for me, it's just been a constant struggle, you know, with the dust and trying to pass people.
Yet, in spite of all the adversity, the 80 truck keeps on going, and the crew likes that. Just before 1 a.m., the streets of La Paz are crowded. And after more than 18 hours of Baja terrain, Honda 1X pulls into the finish corral. Rider Steve Hengeveld claims his 5th straight win. The team of Hengeveld, Mike Childress, and Quinn Cody averaged just over 57 miles an hour. Obviously impressive, considering the difficulty of the terrain. For a time, the champion's podium is all his.
Oh, great.
Good job. CEO Sal Fish is on the scene. 2 hours later, 35-year-old Johnny Campbell pulls in on Honda 6X. His streak of 9 consecutive Baja wins comes to an end, but the run of Honda continues on unabated.
Bring him up further in.
As the SCORE Baja 1000 continues, the trophy trucks take over the scene, now dominated by the bikes.
Strange SCORE Baja 1000 is brought to you by BF Goodrich Tires. Take control. By Toyota, moving forward. By Garmin. Give a Garmin GPS this holiday season. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters.
The SCORE Baja 1000 continues, and the trophy trucks are about to hit the line. It's 6 a.m. in La Paz, and it's a party. After 19 hours of desert racing, the number 83 trophy truck pulls in across the finish line. 19-year-old Andy McMillan drove the last 300 miles to claim his first win at the Baja 1000. That's a huge one for the third generation of McMillans to run on the peninsula. The duo of Robbie Gordon and Andy McMillan averaged 54 miles an hour.
You're okay. You're right here, okay. Congratulations. Fantastic. Well, great race to you. This is great. Congratulations.
Andy, congratulations. Incredible. Unofficially, the first SCORE trophy truck across the finish line here at the County SCORE Baja 1000. Great ride. Great ride. Congratulations, you guys.
Next to visit Sal Fish was the number 97 Baldwin Trophy truck. BJ drove 830 miles of the course. He and Tommy Bradley averaged just over 52 miles per hour. His only problem of the day, a flat tire early in the race. Overcoming that, with his finish, Baldwin claimed the SCORE Series championship.
So hopefully second. I don't know anybody between you.
Let's bring him up. And the first Class 1 vehicle to cross the line in La Paz, Larry Rossler in the 121 Herbst vehicle. Rossler and Troy Herbst claimed second place overall by virtue of finishing 5 minutes under B.J. Baldwin's overall time of 20 hours.
There you got it.
As Robbie Gordon is getting on a plane heading to Miami Homestead for a NASCAR race, teammate Andy McMillan enjoys his first win. Others continue to forge on in an effort to finish under the 43-hour cutoff. Steve Appleton crossed the finish line in the BC16 car to win his class in just over 25 hours. Some notable mishaps. Cameron Steele's day ended after 738 miles with a broken hub mounting. Ryan Arciero lost an alternator at 825. And Travis Pastrana's day ended just south of the Bay of LA, where he rolled his truck and it caught fire. But as they say here in Mexico, that's Baja. Thanks for joining us.